Hey, welcome to the Sales Hunter podcast. I'm Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter. And who's in the studio today? David Newman with his new book out, Do It Selling. Now, you may know David Newman because he's written a couple of other very cool books, all using the same first two words, do it. Do it marketing and do it speaking. What I love about his style is it's short, it's quick, so it fits my style. And most of all, it is very applicable. So, hey, with that, we need to get on with the show. It begins right now.
You're listening to the Sales Hunter podcast with Mark Hunter, where the focus is to help you as a sales leader sell with confidence and integrity. And now here's your host.
Okay, so you want to know how to get more sales. You want to know how to get more sales faster. The gentleman we're going to be talking to, David Newman, really comes to us from a marketing background. Now he's a converted salesperson. Welcome, David.
Thank you. I was going to be like reading the book and heavily embroiled in the pages, but I realized I don't need to read it because I wrote it.
Yeah, I would hope that you could remember what's on page 122. So what is on page 122? No, it's okay.
Something amazing.
First of all, what I love about you is you have two styles when it comes to sales. A, you are relentless. And two, you believe in the outcome you can create. And you've demonstrated this time and time again with the clients and the people you've had a chance to work with as they close 6- and 7-figure deals because of the work you give them. What's your secret? What does it come down to for, we'll say that solopreneur out there? How do I get sales? What is it I need to be doing?
Well, as you well know, because you're one of my sales mentors and sales heroes, it starts, believe it or not, with prospecting. Mark Hunter, I don't know if you know much about prospecting, but prospecting is really, really, really important. And most people, most professional services providers and most professional services firms would rather do anything other than prospecting. And I think some people feel that it is beneath them. Even some professional salespeople, by the way, they think prospecting is beneath them. And can I get my sales assistant to do that? Can I get my VA to do that? And it's sort of like the black sheep of the sales process. So when you talk about, hey, negotiating is sexy. You talk about closing is sexy. You talk about objections, objection handling is sexy. Hey, can we talk about prospecting? Everyone wants to go get a cup of coffee.
Hold it. Brad Hero, he chimes in. The coffee shop I just stopped into on the road is about to hear your podcast. So you know what? Brad, I want you to get some prospects right there in the coffee shop.
He would rather get coffee. But so Brad, good job, buddy. Go sell something in the coffee shop.
Yeah. So why is it that people run from prospecting? I got my theories. I'd love to hear your theories.
I think they misunderstand that prospecting is some sort of intrusion or interruption, or they're being a pest, or it lowers their status. In the early parts of the Do It Selling book, I tell people, listen, if you don't like the word prospecting, if you don't like the word selling, you can throw those out of your vocabulary and replace them with two new words: invitation to a conversation. And people generally are not afraid of invitations because invitations generally mean something good is happening on the other side: a party, barbecue, bourbon, gifts. People are also not afraid of conversations. What happens during a conversation? We exchange ideas, we dialogue, we get to know other people, we build new friendships. Some of those new friendships might lead to a commercial relationship. So people are generally not afraid of conversations. If you reframe this as, instead of being pushy or salesy or intrusive or weird, it's an invitation to a conversation about how you can help that prospect, you will totally reframe the emotional baggage that some people have around prospecting.
Wow, you just reframed everything. Invitation to a conversation. You're right, because we are interrupting people. Let's not kid ourselves. But here's this whole thing, and I love this. It's an invitation because sales is about having a conversation. It's, what are we doing here? We're just having a conversation. That's what prospecting is all about. We shouldn't run from, the thing I always say about prospecting is, we'll say that I have a problem. Okay, now you know that I have a lot of problems, okay? And if you had a solution to one of those problems, I would hope that you reach out to me. I would hope that you do.
No.
And if for some reason you didn't reach out to me and I found out later that you could have helped me, I would be upset. I would be upset at you. So we owe it to people who we know we can help to reach out to them. And it's just a conversation.
Yes,
But
absolutely
again,
right.
But again, what are some of the steps that people
Well,
have to
so
go
let's also reframe why this prospecting situation can cause some pressure and some uncomfortable feelings. When we go in to pitch, we go in to present, we go in to talk about our stuff. Of course, the spotlight is on us. The focus is on us. We get all up in our heads. What do I say next? What do I present? Do I have my slides? Am I doing the demo the right way? Should I be pitching this or pitching that? That is a completely wrong way to have an initial conversation. The initial conversation, and maybe even every subsequent sales conversation, is 100% about the prospect. And so prospects will judge us, professional salespeople, far more on the questions that we ask than on the statements that we make. So there's an entire section of the Do It Selling book about sales discovery. And I have a little bit of fun with it because one of the chapters in there is called Captain, We Have First Contact. So if you're a Star Trek fan, if you're a science fiction fan, you know that first contact is first contact with the alien species known as prospects. But first contact is all about showing up, not worrying about being liked, not worry about sounding smart, but being perpetually curious and wanting to be radically helpful and radically relevant to what that prospect is going through so that you can determine very quickly, are you a fit with your products, your services, your programs? Are you a fit to help them get to an outcome that they already know they want or solve a problem that they already know they have? And that is what discovery is all about, but it's based on questions and it's based on listening. It is not based on pitching and it's not based on talking.
Wow, thank you so much, because you frame up what discovery is. Discovery is about finding out what the customer's problems are. It's not letting them discover what you are. No. We too many times have had this whole discovery thing turned around backwards. And I love that. I loved what you said, Captain, we have contact. And that's what I like about your whole book, because it is written with a certain sense of irreverence and a little bit of your marketing background, because you also said something that you, David Newman, as a professional salesperson, did you ever, 10 years ago, did you think you'd say that?
Absolutely not.
Whoa.
Absolutely
okay,
not.
Now hold on. Now listen, audience, listen to what David just said. He did not see himself as a professional salesperson, but you came to the bright side. You came, you used to say that we in sales were on the dark side. Now you've seen that sales is the bright side. What was it? Because again, a lot of people struggle with this.
Yeah.
Help us walk through your conversion.
Wow, this is going deep, Mark Hunter. Holy smokes. Okay. So I realized that early on, and to be honest, about 30% of the Do It Marketing book was about sales and selling.
Yes, it was. Because excuse me, I think I had a little piece in there too.
No, you did. You totally. You had a piece in both of the previous books, a guest chapter. So marketing is necessary, but not sufficient to ring the cash register. And a lot of times people talk about marketing as people have a marketing problem. Almost everyone that I work with, they don't really have a marketing problem. They have a sales problem. And back 10, 15 years ago, when I was struggling to figure some of this out, I was like, damn, I'm so good at marketing, but why can't I close a door? Because marketing is the warm-up and sales is the game. How about that, Mark?
Oh, I love
right?
that.
Marketing is the warm-up. Right? You get the warm-up innings, you practice, you're in the bullpen, you're doing your thing. And man, when it's first inning, first batter is up, now we're in sales. Because now we have an opportunity to make contact with the ball. We have opportunity to get on base. I'm not even a baseball fan. I'm using a pretty good sales baseball metaphor here. But that's absolutely it. So there's also a chapter in the book called Now Get in the Game. Now Get in the Game is about stop being a spectator. Stop hoping that leads will find you. Stop hoping that someday, some moment, your phone will ring. Stop hoping for that next referral. When I talk to an entrepreneur or a business owner, or sometimes even a salesperson, sometimes a professional salesperson with a totally serious face will say to me, well, David, my business is 100% repeat and referral. I don't need to do new prospecting. I get referrals. My clients love me. They pass me around like candy. I am doing great. And when they say I am doing great, I realize that there's somewhere between 25 and 30% of their actual sales potential, because business comes to you. Business comes to all of us. I mean, Mark Hunter is fantastic, amazing, great. I'm fantastic, amazing, great. Our clients love us. Our clients do refer us. But guess who's in control of that? Not us. Not us. So if you want to be in control of your sales, you want to be in control of your income, you want to be in control of your pipeline, you have to get into proactive, intelligent prospecting, outreach, sales conversations, sales conversions, and ultimately putting checks in the bank and putting credit cards in the bank. So the entire process of initial hello to, oh my gosh, this is awesome. How soon can you start? How soon can we get started? That sales process was a total mystery to me. And when I started to unpack, what does it really take to get a prospect from initial contact all the way to signed contract, it was all about asking questions. It was all about adding value. It was all about doing this deep dive discovery. And when I say deep dive discovery, there's tons of questions that are in the Do It Selling book that gives you lots and lots of questions and frameworks and structures. I don't believe in sales scripts. I do very much believe in conversation roadmaps and frameworks and structure, because you need to sell like you. So if you listen to Mark close a deal and he'll close a big, beautiful 6-figure deal, you listen to me close a deal. I only close big, beautiful 5-figure deals, but we will both get to the same outcome. And Mark will do it with his strengths, his preferences, his personality. I will do it with my strengths, my preferences, and my personality. And we both do it not by talking our way into a sale, but by asking a series and a very structured series of questions, and the prospects close themselves. So that's how I came to see the light.
I love what you said there, because again, sales is about letting your personality come through. Unless you're the weird uncle, the crazy aunt in the family, use your personality. Now, if your family doesn't have a crazy uncle and a weird aunt, then you probably are that. But we'll save that for a separate episode. Here's the whole deal. Brad asks a great question, or says he's got a great question. I'm going to share that in just a minute. But if you're liking this conversation, I'm going to invite you to join us May 24th, Sales Logic Live. Meredith Elliott Powell and myself host Sales Logic Live, of course, every Saturday morning here on LinkedIn. And we're doing our first live event, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Central Time. And it's going to be in person, Dallas, Texas, and streamed online. We'll put the link in the show notes. But now let's get to the question from Brad. And this is Brad's personality. He says, Mr. Prospect, I would love to know the story of your business and the personal journey you accomplished to get where you are. I love that question. Again, that fits for Brad's personality. Ooh,
Brad, I'm going to blow you away, dude, because chapter 29, it says 5 tips for first contact calls. I'm going to read 2 lines here, Brad, because you wrote these 2 lines, or you might as well have written these 2 lines. So initial conversation, the way that I always start mine, is what have you done to get to where you are today? Give me a quick sketch of your professional journey up to this point, and then we'll spend the rest of the call on where you'd like to go next. And the reason Brad loves that question, the reason I love that question, the reason I'm sure, Mark, you love some version of that question, what does it do in the first 10 seconds? It gets the prospect talking.
I love it. So Brad, leave
10 points for Brad. 10 points for Brad.
Brad, leave your bank card or leave your bank information in the show notes, and David will be sure to make sure that he ACHs you all of the royalties that you deserve.
That's it, buddy. You're in. You're my new co-author.
Yeah. Hey, this is such a great conversation, because it is about using yourself. You know, Amelia, and I apologize, we're having some little hiccups with the notes here. she says, absolutely involving your unique self to approach the prospect because it makes you more comfortable. And when you're more comfortable, it's amazing how much better you hear, how much more you're able to listen, and you ask better questions, you engage. Like right now, you and I are incredibly relaxed and we could run this conversation for hours on end. But now let's jump past prospecting. Let's jump into what are some of the ways that you communicate in this book, Do It Selling, in terms of really getting that customer over the line to engage with you?
So I will give you one of the juicy tidbits from the book. It's about prospect involvement and engagement. So rather than you doing your sales process to your client, I'm a big proponent of having a collaborative sales process, meaning that before the initial conversation, and maybe even in between conversation 1 and 2, 2 and 3, you're always sending value items and you're always sending engagement items, which means watch a short 3-minute video, fill out a quick 5-question assessment. These don't need to be long, laborious. In fact, they shouldn't be long and laborious. They should be short, valuable, and fun. So give them something to latch onto. Give them something to chew on between your initial call and the second call, third call, etc. Because this ongoing engagement and this ongoing involvement where they're hands-on with you, they're watching the video, they're filling out the survey, they're doing the quick form, they're reading an article that you send them. And these are all meant to be incredibly relevant and incredibly specific to that particular client and to their particular situation. So what does that mean? That means you want to have a bank of maybe 10 or 15 value items that are in your tool chest, and then select 1 or 2 or 3 that are relevant for, the particular prospect that you're talking to. When they're consuming your content and they're engaging with your quizzes, assessments, videos, etc., you will be able to tell right away who is hot, who is medium, and who is kind of cold and perhaps less likely to close. So involvement leads to engagement. Engagement leads to sales. Do not just trust that you're going to be so charming and so wonderful in every sales conversation that you're going to move them forward. Send them something to engage with, send them something to do, send them something to watch, send them something to read, and then constantly be adding value in your follow-up process so they stick with you through the close.
That really helps answer the question that Amelia says, what do you consider the blockages most prospects have and we should focus on to get skills to bring those walls down? I love this whole engagement thing, because if I can engage you in between sales calls, it's amazing how much more you buy into the concept of what I'm talking about. Yes. And it's amazing how we create a level of trust without even dialoguing with you.
Yes.
Because and I find this happens, that whole level of engagement, would you talk about the short quiz, you send them something, it also keeps the customer from going dark on you.
Yeah.
Because here's the whole thing. If you're willing to engage with me in between sales calls, I know there's a level of interest. There's a level of interest. And I got to create that hook. And of course, one of the things that I love doing in that engagement is, hey, you mentioned last time we talked, you said X. Hey, give me your thoughts on this, or answer a couple questions, or take a look at this. Because again, now I'm playing off what you shared with me. And again, it's keeping the conversation going. So I love that. What else? We're at the 19-minute mark. We got about 3 minutes left. What else do you want to share?
Well, I think I have to share some of my incredibly tricky, manipulative ninja closing questions. Can I share?
Oh, now we're getting the slime.
My goodness. So here's how to close it. If you do everything in the do it selling way, and then it comes to the time where you're asking for the sale, I mean, I hope people are writing this down. Get a pen, get a pad, write this down.
Unless you're driving the 405.
Unless you're driving on the 405, going to the 710, going to the 5, which is in LA.
You do know LA. That was very good.
I know, right?
That's very good. I'm impressed.
Here are my closing questions. They're so tricky. They're so difficult. They're so manipulative. So, Mark, does this sound like something that you'd like to do? So, Mark, does this sound like something you'd like to move forward with? So, Mark, does what we talked about so far make sense? So, Mark, what do you think? Should we get started? And here's why these natural, easy conversational lines work. It's like when a waiter comes up to you after a beautiful 7-course meal and says, would you like coffee? Would you like dessert? Generally, people don't throw down their fork and say, how dare you upsell me on coffee and dessert? This is outrageous. We don't say that. Why? Because would you like coffee? Would you like dessert is a natural extension of everything that has come before. So when you say, and you've done everything lockstep in the process, you've established need, authority, budget, all that usual great sales stuff. So Mark, does this sound like something that you'd like to do? Very simple, easy, plain English, organic, like you're talking to a friend. The more of the sales process that you can make easy, organic, conversational, and fun, and literally act as if you're talking to your new best friend, because all of my clients are my friends. And I'm just going to assume that if you're my next client, you're also my next friend. I'm not going to treat you in some weird, pushy, schemy, Ben Franklin close and, five-way intersection close and all the other closes that we've learned. I'm going to say, hey, based on what we've talked about so far, does this sound like something that you'd like to do? Again, shocking, but effective and humanizing. We got to humanize the sales process from beginning to end. And when you treat prospects like clients, you will get a lot more clients.
And the better you prospect, in other words, create trust, create a level of integrity, it's amazing how much easier the close begins. That's why I always say, I'll get calls from VPs of sales and they'll say, man, my sales team needs help on closing because they're not closing F deals. And I go, hold it. Yeah, it's not the problem at all. Problem is probably back up on prospecting.
Oh, yeah.
You're probably prospecting either not enough or you're prospecting the wrong people. Your salespeople are not prospecting enough, so they're desperate, so they're spitting out commission breath, or they're prospecting the wrong people. And the only way they can close is by giving this massive, massive discount. Yeah. If you stay true to your sweet spot, it is amazing how much better you'll be in being able to close. Yeah, it's excellent. Hey, David, this has been an absolute terrific conversation. Your book, Do It Selling, goes on sale here the first part of May, correct?
Yes, but pre-orders and all the bonuses are available right now.
Oh, yes.
So if people pop over to doitselling.com, they can pre-order and then get all of the companion tools, training, PDFs, videos, and live sessions that I'm doing, all related to the concepts in the book. And that starts immediately.
And we will make sure that we put all that in the show notes for you, but it's doitselling.com to get all those bonus pieces. Yeah. The book is really it's a very interesting read because it's in David's very sarcastic, marketing-esque style. And I like that. That's why you and I have known each other for years, which is really scary that neither of us have done time in prison, at least that I know of. So anyway, hey, thank you for being on the show. What is your regular, you have doitselling.com as one website. Do you have another one? And of course you're on LinkedIn.
Yes. So the main empire is at doitmarketing.com. And we also have a manifesto that's a free PDF download. That's at doitmarketing.com/manifesto. And we also have some free on-demand web training. That's at doitmarketing.com/webinar.
Wow. So you did slip in that whole marketing word in there. I know. It's okay. It's okay. Hey, you've been listening to the Sales Hunter podcast. I'm Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter. I do remind you, May 24th, Meredith Elliott Powell and myself will be doing Sales Logic live in Dallas, Texas, and streamed online. All the information will be in the show notes below. But you've been listening to the Sales Hunter podcast, where each week you get 2 episodes. One for me with a short single topic message, and second one, a little longer one where we do a deep dive with a sales expert like today with David Newman. The Sales Hunter podcast, what's it all about? It's about delivering you content, ideas, techniques, strategies, all proven that you can put into practice right now. I'm Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter. Thanks for listening.